The practice of giving criminals condemned to death a last meal has become somewhat of a tradition in some states in the U.S. and other countries with legal capital punishment, usually going by the euphemism special meal. This practice gives convicted felons the chance to have any meal of their choice before they are executed. Most states of the U.S. give this meal to condemned felons a day or two before their execution, and while felons can't always expect their requests to be granted, there have still been some very strange last meal requests from condemned inmates, and we'll be taking a look at some of these requests today. Welcome! Today we'll be taking a look at some of the strangest last meal requests made by inmates on death row. Number 18. Victor Harry Feger. 28-year-old Victor Harry Feger was sentenced to death by hanging in 1963 for convicted kidnap murder. The young man's last meal request was unusually strange. For his final meal, Victor Harry Feger requested only a single olive with the pit left in. The olive pit was found in Feger's pocket after his execution, which led most people to believe that perhaps Feger wanted to be buried with the pit in hopes that an olive tree would sprout from his final resting place. If this was truly the case, then it was a really touching act from a dangerous criminal, as the olive tree is a known symbol of peace. Number 17. David Leon Woods. For his final meal, David Leon Woods requested a birthday cake. While this may be considered funny as he was not to be executed on his birthday, it is also quite touching when we consider if perhaps David Leon Woods wanted to celebrate one last time before he was executed. Number 16. Andrew Lackey. Andrew Lackey was executed in 2013, and his choice for a final meal was quite interesting. For his final meal, Andrew requested turkey bologna and grilled cheese. This food combination is quite strange, as there is hardly any way to make a turkey bologna and grilled cheese go well together. One another interesting fact: Andrew Lackey was also the first person to be executed in the state of Alabama since 2011. Andrew just had to end Alabama's 2-year execution-free streak. Number 15. Gerald Lee Mitchell. Remember Victor Harry Feger? Well, I guess you could say that he might have had sweet intentions behind his final meal. Gerald Lee Mitchell's final meal, however, was even sweeter than his, but in an entirely different way. Mitchell wanted only one thing for his final meal: an assorted bag of Jolly Ranchers candy. Because he finished the entire bag before meeting the Grim Reaper, I guess it's safe to say that maybe Mitchell wanted to bow out on a sugar rush. Number 14. Lawrence Russell Brewer. When presented with what is an almost blank check, some people know exactly what they want. Others, on the other hand, are unable to choose. Lawrence Russell Brewer was a convicted killer and white supremacist who took full advantage of the unusual opportunity to request a final meal. In 2011, Lawrence Brewer decided to request an enormous feast as his last meal. Lawrence requested 2 fried chicken steaks with gravy and onion, a triple bacon cheeseburger, a cheese omelette with ground beef, tomatoes, onions, bell peppers, and jalapenos, 3 fajitas, a meat feast pizza, a bowl of fried okra, a pound of barbecued meat with half a loaf of white bread, peanut butter fudge with crushed peanuts, and a pint of Bluebell ice cream. He also requested 3 root beers to ensure that he didn't get thirsty at any point during his feast. In what can only be his final way of dissing the justice system, Lawrence Brewer refused to touch even a single food item when his order arrived, claiming he wasn't hungry. Naturally, this action angered various people, including the Texas Senator Josh Whitmire. Senator Josh Whitmire was so angry with Lawrence's actions that he decided to ban the last meal request in the state. Future Texas death row inmates looking forward to their last meal can place the blame on Lawrence Brewer when they are given regular prison food for their last meal. Number 13. Ajmal Kasa. This entry is quite funny, and it is for this reason that it is on our list. Ajmal Kasa was convicted and sentenced to death in India for his role in the 2008 Mumbai terrorist attack. Interestingly, Ajmal actually refused a last meal, but for reasons unknown, the prison decided to give him a basket of tomatoes. Why? Well, your guess is as good as mine. Number 12. Alton Coleman. He was a convicted serial killer, and just like Lawrence Brewer, he also wanted to have a feast as his last meal. For his final meal, Alton requested fried chicken breast, salad with French dressing, sweet potato pie with whipped cream, French fries, collard greens, onion rings, cornbread, broccoli with melted cheese, biscuits and gravy, and a cherry Coke. I guess we could consider all these as appetizers, because Alton Coleman had a main request, a well-done filet mignon smothered with mushrooms. Wow. Number 11. John Wayne Gacy. Famously known as the Killer Clown Pogo, notorious serial killer, John Wayne Gacy joins the list of condemned criminals who took full advantage of the opportunity to request a last meal. For his final meal, John Wayne Gacy ordered 12 fried shrimp, French fries, a bucket of original recipe KFC, and a pound of strawberries. Before his arrest, Gacy had managed 3 KFC restaurants and he never got over the taste of KFC chicken. Number 10. John Spenklink. This entry is unique because instead of ordering a special last meal, John Spenklink chose to ask for a single flask of Jack Daniels instead. After his order arrived, John Spenklink shared his flask of Jack Daniels with the prison's superintendent. The state of Florida would go on to exclude alcohol from its last meal provisions following John's execution. But to be honest, going out on a high may not be the worst way to go. Number 9. Christopher Brooks. The simplicity of this man's final meal request earns him a spot on our list. For his final meal, all Christopher requested were 2 peanut butter cups and a Dr. Pepper. Number 8. Adolf Eichmann. Adolf Eichmann was one of the key figures responsible for organizing and executing the Holocaust, which makes him partly responsible for the death of millions of Israelites. He was executed in 1962 in Israel. Just like some of the other entries on our list, Adolf Eichmann also declined the offer of a special last meal and asked instead for a bottle of caramel red wine, which was a popular wine brand in Israel, along with the normal prison food, which included bread, cheese, olives, and tea. He drank half the bottle of wine in an attempt to get drunk before his execution. Number 7. Aileen Wuornos. Aileen Wuornos also made a simple request for her last meal. All she requested was a single cup of black coffee. There are many reasons why she may have chosen to have just a single cup of black coffee, but we have to point out that Aileen did not believe she was about to face anything permanent. According to her famous last words, "I'd just like to say I'm sailing with the Rock, and I'll be back like Independence Day with Jesus," Jude 6. Well, she's yet to return from her voyage. Number 6. Ricky Ray Rector. Rector ordered steak, fried chicken, cherry Kool-Aid, and a slice of pecan pie for his last meal. When his order arrived, Rector ate the steak and fried chicken and drank the Kool-Aid but did not take a single morsel of the pecan pie. When asked why he refused to eat his tasty dessert, all Rector said was that he was saving it for later. We'll leave you to decide if he meant this as an ironic joke or if he, just like Aileen Wuornos, also believed that he would return soon. Number 5. Roger Casement. Roger Casement converted to Catholicism shortly before his execution, and for his final meal, he requested for a communion wafer. Before his death, Roger stated that he wanted to go to my death with the body of my God as my last meal. Number 4. Thomas J. Grasso. Thomas J. Grasso was executed in 1995, and the circumstances surrounding his final meal earns him the place on our list. Grasso had ordered 2 dozen steamed clams, half a dozen barbecue ribs, a Burger King double cheeseburger, and 2 strawberry milkshakes, alongside a can of SpaghettiOs to be served at room temperature. When his order arrived, however, he received spaghetti and meatballs instead of the SpaghettiOs he had ordered. This made Grasso really angry, with his final words being, "I did not get my SpaghettiOs. I got spaghetti. I want the press to know this." Number 3. Stephen Wayne Anderson. Stephen Wayne Anderson was executed in California in 2002, and his choice for a final meal was quite interesting. He ordered 2 grilled cheese sandwiches, a pint of cottage cheese, a hominy corn mixture, peach pie and chocolate chip ice cream, and strangely enough, radishes. Number 2. Peter J. Miniel. Remember Lawrence Russell Brewer? Well, it seems he could face stern competition from convicted killer Peter J. Miniel over the biggest order ever served on death row. In what can only be described as a hopping order, Miniel requested for 20 beef tacos, 20 beef enchiladas, 2 double cheeseburgers, a pizza with jalapenos, fried chicken, and spaghetti with salt. The order isn't over yet. For dessert, Miniel ordered half a chocolate cake, half a vanilla cake, cookies and cream ice cream, caramel pecan fudge ice cream, and a small fruit cake. Since every large meal needs a drink, Miniel ordered for 2 lots of Coke, Pepsi, root beer, and orange juice. I guess it's safe to say that he wanted to answer the final curtain with a full stomach. Number 1. Philip Workman. For his final meal, Philip Workman requested that a large vegetarian pizza be given to a random homeless person. When prison officials refused his request, Philip decided to eat nothing else. Surprisingly, on the day of his execution, homeless shelters in Tennessee received large amounts of vegetarian pizzas from people all over the United States. In the end, I guess Philip Workman did at least one good deed before his death. So which request do you think was the strangest? And what would you have ordered if you were a death row inmate selecting a final meal? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.